Answering the question, what if Apex wasn't trash? We have
Titanfall 2.
Why?
Why are we starting with 2, you might ask? Because I frankly have no desire to play multiplayer games. This channel is campaign focused, and as it turns out, Titanfall 1 does not have a campaign at all. So here we are. You are a new recruit taken under the wing of an experienced pilot who, sadly, dies like 3 minutes later, transferring over to you ownership of his Titan. That's my boy BT, which canonically I'm pretty sure stands for Best Titan. And what happens then, you ask? I mean, quite simply put, without meandering and prevaricating, with no bullshit or varnish or embellishment, keeping it whole as buck, you go on to have the time of your fucking life.
Hell yeah.
Sit down! Sit the fuck down! Bitch, I'm Neo! Let's fucking go! Braka! Bitch! Braka, braka, braka! Let's fucking go! Wow, this shit is nasty! This bitch is nasty! Knock knock, bitch! Knock knock! Bro, we'll squat it up. It's a pimp ass shit to do. Pimp ass shit to do. Shred him. Shred him. Bitch, sit down. Sit down. Bro, just die. Just die. Just fucking die. Drop it. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Grab grenade. Slice him up. Bitch. 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 You gotta go home. You gotta go home, buddy. Shut the fuck up. Holy shit. Sit down! Sit down! What I tell you? Sit the fuck down! You too, buddy. Sit down! Bruh. Bruh. How fucking cool is this shit? This is Let's fucking go! Woohoo! Boom! Sit down. Be humble.
Good luck.
Whoa. Holy shit. This game is stupid fun. It's a banger. Through and through, it never gives way to anything but slapper after slapper after slapper. It is split between pilot gameplay and Titan gameplay. In other words, being in your mech or being on foot. And both are so wonderfully juicy and meaty that it's hard to even pick which feels better. But, all honesty, gun to my head, I would actually lean towards pilot gameplay because I love the movement so much. And that's really saying something, that in a game with mechas, the sections without them aren't boring and just filler between two mecha fights, but perfectly on par with the Titan segments. The movement may be familiar to those amongst you who have played Apex since, as you may know, Titanfall and Apex are set in the same universe. But it is here even more free because you can wall run like your life depends on it and climb just about anything, double jump, slide. It's completely free. This gives you unparalleled freedom of movement around the map, which, coupled with fantastic gunplay and a great collection of weapons, makes this, frankly, into one of the most fun FPS experiences I've honestly ever had.
Cooper, you still have control of the bridge. Use your data knife to steer yourself right
Wait,
behind
what do you
the
mean I have
Draconis.
control?
Barker, get BT back to Cooper.
Whoa. Bro, what? I'm actually steering the fucking ship. What the hell? That is so cool.
This is it.
Why is there randomly a whole ship driving mechanic here, bro? This game does this all the time. It introduces a cool ass idea just for one level and then you move on. It never overuses anything. It has plenty of that. This is super cool. The time blipping, the time travel was super cool. The arc gun was super cool. It has so much restraints. Plenty of ideas that it uses with restraints. Time travel stuff was not necessary. But I mean that in the best of ways, because it would have been enough for this game to just be a fun, mindless shooter. And I don't think anyone would have particularly held against it that it didn't have pretensions to something higher. And yet, here is an excellent idea, which is of course far from unique. A shit ton of games have done the same thing, but it works so organically here and feels so fun. Not only is it used wisely here, and not repetitively like some games that shall remain nameless, which have you shift reality really as an excuse to revisit the same bit of the map 13 times, because the devs are lazy to make more content, but also because this concept, as simple as it is, marries particularly well with the pre-existing core gameplay of Titanfall. The parkour sections, for example, are brilliant when you have to time your reality shifts in between jumps. In fact, my only complaint is that I wish there had been more of it and of a higher degree of difficulty, because I do find them to be a little bit too easy. So what is it? Oh, okay. See, this is super cool. Bro, I love that. I love that we're making use of the time blipping thing. It's a little too easy though. Let's put that out of the way. It's a little too easy, but I love it conceptually. But this is a complaint I have about the game in general. That all of it feels a little too easy. I had never played Titanfall, so I figured I'm not going to put myself on the absolute legendary difficulty right away, but just on hard, right? And this proved a little too easy, and I ended up switching up to the highest one at some point. Maybe I need to put it on master for a little bit. It's a little too easy. Thing is, I do want the challenge, but I also don't want it to become detrimental where it's cramping my style. Like I have to sit behind cover and just shoot people from afar, Because that would kind of defeat the purpose of the game. I want to be able to run around doing cool shit. Sit down, bitch. But even this didn't feel particularly difficult. And that's not to say that I didn't die. I died a bunch. But you die in Titanfall a little bit differently. You die not because it's hard, but because it's hard to be a pussy. Of course you can win every fight without any issue whatsoever if you stay behind cover and just headshot people one by one. But why do that when you can run on walls and jump over people and knee slide demolish everyone with a shotgun? That's just so much more fun. So most of the time you're going to die won't be because the enemies are too tough, but because you're auditioning for the Matrix reboot and you're trying too hard to do cool shit. But doing cool shit is just kinda cool. So who can resist it? But the same can also be said about the platforming, which is so good that I wish more difficulty was introduced into it. Let's go. I like climbing. It's fun. I like the platforming. Even though I will say it is maybe a little bit too easy. Because I think that the movement in this game is so good. Like, it's hard to nail movement so well in a game that if you've somehow managed to nail it, I think you should take even more advantage of it, you know? And make it...
Kane and Ash are dead. Someone's been killing your mercs, and it looks like one of our radios has been nicked.
Okay, shut up.
You shouldn't have...
If I were you, I'd stop trying so hard to be a hero. You'll live longer.
Bro, I've been killing everyone you've been sending at me, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Anyway, what I was saying was... a game with movement that's just okay or even mediocre can't afford to make the platforming too difficult, because if you have mediocre movement, then that's going to become unpleasant very quickly. But this doesn't have mediocre movement, this has amazing movement tech. So here you can afford, not only can you afford to make the movement more difficult, but arguably you should, because if you don't, you're actually kind of, it's a missed opportunity, you know, you're not taking full advantage of how good your movement is, because your movement is really good enough for you to be able to make the platforming a lot more difficult than it currently is. So I really like when there's sections where you have to chain a bunch of wall runs together, like here, poop, 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 and jump here. Okay, that's cool, but I'd like this, but 10 times more difficult, because that was too easy, you know?
Hypothesis. The dish will automatically reorient itself once the new module is installed.
And same for the enemies. I love the shooting, I love fighting, but there's not enough of it. So there's not enough of platforming, there's not enough of shooting. Which is weird, because like, that's pretty much all this game is. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Jesus. Okay. Oh, I have to activate. Okay. Oh, it's like, okay, yeah. Okay, that's cool. This is really cool. At least there's a bit more of a challenge, if you can call it that.
Requesting assistance.
But see, it's not forcing me to do this. Like, I'm trying to do it fast because it's more fun, but the game isn't forcing me to do it. I just activate it once and it just sits there, you know? I wish it was putting me in situations where I only have like a fraction of a second to react. And then... Wait, no, oh, no. Oh, okay. I was just talking about how easy it is. No, okay, look. It's still activated from last time because I died. See, I need to activate those, and they stay for not even 1 second. That forces me to activate them mid-air as I'm flying. The fact that they stay permanently, and also that I die, I come back, and they're still there, so now I don't even have to activate anything at all. That's too easy, bro. That's too easy. I need more difficulty from the platforming because it's a lot of fun. I also find that there are too few enemies for a game where the combat is so fun, and I really wish there was more stuff to shoot at, really. And also, there's something about the enemy spawns which I only realized maybe in the middle of the game when there was a more open map. It hadn't been much of an issue thus far because the maps were more closed, so you didn't really feel it. But out here, in the open, you realize enemies are basically spawning in small groups. Give me more stuff to snipe, bro. I have a really good sniper and no enemies. You know, that might seem like an odd thing to complain about, but I feel like this game overall doesn't have enough enemies. Like, there have been a couple sections that are pretty heavy, and I died a bunch of times, but I really enjoyed myself even though I was dying, because I was just kind of having fun fighting a bunch of enemies at the same time. And you know, I could have hidden behind cover and just like kill them one by one, but I was having fun just kind of running around the walls and shooting everyone and shit. But overall, I feel like, you know, you go through the map and then you have an enemy and then you have another one and then another one. It's not enough for how fun the combat is. I just wish there were more enemies, more things to shoot at, because I love shooting at things in this game. More enemies, bro. Fill this map up with enemies. I feel like it's, you know, it gave me like 4 people, and then I have to advance, and then there's 4 more. And then I advance, and there's 4 more. I'd rather just fill the whole fucking map with enemies and then let me figure it out. And let me, like, ration them as I wish. Both this and the platforming are problems that really stem from quality, because what I'm saying effectively is that the gunfights are so good that I want more of them. And I want them to be more intense. The platforming is so good because the movement is brilliant that I want more of it. And I want it to be more difficult. So they've done such a good job at creating good movement and good gunplay that they've sort of almost exceeded their own ambitions, where they had this game in mind and they almost went a little bit overboard. Like, the movement and the gunplay is almost too good for the game they had in mind, so that you end up wishing that there was a bit more meat to it. Because effectively they give you these teeth, and these teeth are so sharp and poignant and they can rip through anything. But then you end up feeling like you don't have all that much meat to chew, so you want more of it. This final section with the path racing gun, I mean, it's kind of insane. There's gotta be like, what, 20 minutes, 15 minutes left of this game at this point, and it's still finding new ways to out-cool itself.
Not confirmed.
Commander
Briggs, I'm picking up a data call.
Oh no, it's like a heat... Bro, what in the Cyberpunk 2077 shit is this? This is so fucking cool. Come on, bro. Come on, holy shit.
BT, Cooper, what's your status?
Nah, that's too pimp. That's just too pimp. I love this.
BT 7274.
Bro, you know what's crazy? This is a cool ass game. And we're right at the end, and it's still managing to have one of its coolest ideas to date. Like, this is one of the best things about it, and it's like in the last, what, like 20 minutes, last mission? How is it still managing to top itself right at the end? It's never running short of ideas. This is so fucking cool. Blocker! 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 Sit the fuck down, bitch! I love this. This is so cool. Like, this mechanic could be an entire game in its own right. And you do have to appreciate and respect the restraint of having this cool ass idea and resisting the temptation to overuse it, and instead only saving it for the finale, where it's gonna have this deep effect. Kind of like a great chord progression that only shows up once in a song, at 3 minutes and 47 seconds, and then just goes away, never to be heard again. I can go on trying to narrate what I felt about this game, but I think this little section that I recorded as the credits were rolling kind of says everything that needs to be said.
This is Pilot Jack Cooper,
Signing off. Bro, that was a belter of a campaign. Right now, you tell me that there is 10 more Titanfall games? I'm booting that shit up immediately. I'm playing the next one, and the next one, and the next one. This was just pure, unadulterated fun. I just had me a fucking blast. Boy, that was just pure fire. I want more of this. It's too short. Also, I'll be honest, a little bit too easy. Like I put it on difficult to start with, and then at some point I switched to the hardest difficulty because it was too easy. And even on the hardest difficulty, it wasn't too much of a challenge. Some of the boss fights, some of the I found that the mech, the BT, whatever, the Titan, right? It's called Titans, I'm sorry. The Titan sections were harder, maybe just because I wasn't as good at them. But when you're on foot, it was pretty easy generally. And it's a funny thing about this game is that a lot of games, when you're trying a certain mission, you're trying a fight, and you keep dying, it's annoying. Here, not at all. I had a blast, and there were sections where I would die like 10 times in a row. I really didn't mind because it was fun, and like I knew that if I sat behind cover and just like poked out and shot one person in the head and then one by one killed them all, I could absolutely do the fight, no problem. I was dying because I was just like having a blast running around the walls and sliding and fucking kneecapping people and just headshotting randos, and like I was dying because I was trying to have fun and I was trying to like win stylistically. And that means that I really didn't mind dying, and I didn't mind doing a battle like 5 times in a row because it was just fun. And I was trying to win it, not just win it, because it's easy enough to win it. I was just trying to win it my way. Cue the fucking Frank Sinatra.
And did it my way.
I love this. Complaints. Okay, 1, a little bit too easy. 2, way too short. My biggest complaint, way too short. And then 2 more smaller complaints that I did mention. I love the parkour stuff. I wish there was a bit more of it and a bit more difficult. I also, because I love the fighting, I wish that there was more enemies to fight. I felt like the maps were not as full as they could have been. But these are small things. These are like, the complaints are, I was having so much fun doing this one thing that I wish there was even more of it. But there was nothing negative. It's a complaint about not getting as much of the positive as I would have wanted to, right? And it's the same when I said that the game is too short. I wish it was longer because I loved it so much. But I don't have anything negative to say about this. Not a single negative thing. Okay, is the story the greatest thing ever written? No, it's not. But that's fine. I just want to shoot some fucks in the head. That's all I want to do. And I got to do that a lot. And then there is actually a story, and it's not a terrible one. I mean, I just played yesterday. I played Rise, Son of Rome, which has a worse story than this. Because this at least kind of is cohesive and it makes sense. The other one was just a bunch of fucking random nonsense. This is nothing special, but it just works within its own little context. And it works as an excuse to let you shoot a bunch of people in the head, which is at the end of the day all you want to fucking do. I want to play more. I want to play more. Now, how can you play more of this? I can go play online, but I don't think there's a lot of people on Titanfall 2 at this point. And also what I've heard is that the curve is really like, it's, if you were trying to get into it as a new player, you're gonna get absolutely fucking obliterated. So that's one factor. The other thing I can do is go play Apex. But I'm beyond Apex. I played it when it dropped. I played it a little bit with some mates. I have no desire to playing Apex now. I do love the movement of this, but I don't want to. It's not worth playing Apex for that. I wanted to start with Titanfall 1, but it turns out there's actually no campaign in Titanfall 1, so that's why I had to jump to this one. And now I'm a little sad because I really I want my fix of this. I want to play more of this. Also, another thing is the guns. Small thing, but the guns. There's so many that I love. It's not like you have 3 nice weapons and then a bunch of shitty ones. No, I could only carry 2 weapons, and I was constantly in a state of having to decide which amongst my favorites I would have to pick, because there's so many good weapons that I really liked. And after playing this entire campaign, I really don't feel like I never got tired of any of the weapons, and I don't even feel like I got enough of them. I wish I could have more of that sniper. I wish I could have more of the Mastiff. I wish I could use those even more. So there's so many good weapons that you are kind of left with the feeling that, oh god, I wish I could have used them more. You know, I almost want to replay the game, doing the entire thing just with different weapons so that I can have a different gameplay. Nah, this was a banger. This was a fucking banger. Are we ever getting a Titanfall 3? I don't think we are. I mean, I hope we are, but I'm not sure because I don't know if this game was very successful. But I want it. Boy, I want it. That's what it is. God damn it, I don't want to press escape. If I press escape, we're done. It's funny because usually, like, if you're glued to a game, more often than not, it's because of the story, because of the immersion, because you're gonna miss the characters, because you were having this like RPG experience and you were on a quest and all of that stuff, you know? And when the credits are rolling, that's what you're gonna miss. You're thinking about all the characters, you're thinking about this adventure you went on with the story. That's what you're gonna miss. Here, again, the story was fine, nothing wrong with it, but what I'm really gonna miss is the gameplay because it's so satisfying. It's just pure fucking fun. And here we go. Bro, where's Titanfall 3? Titanfall 3, if it ever comes out, better have a campaign 10 times longer than this. What does that mean? Does that mean that BT is alive? I think that might mean that BT is alive. Hey, that's my boy, that's my boy.
And